Welcome into the Fight HQ preview for Bellator 288, which goes down on Friday night there up in the Chicago area. Of course, I am Jason Floyd. Appreciate you checking out Fight HQ right here on YouTube. Of course, be sure to smash that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, as me and Peter will be doing a ton of content right here on the Fight HQ YouTube channel. We are going to be live on Friday afternoon, breaking down UFC Vegas 65. We'll talk about it from a fight-by-fight breakdown. We'll talk about it from a betting aspect, from a also daily fantasy sports aspect as well. And of course, we'll talk about other things as well in relation to UFC Vegas 65. But of course, I am here to preview Bellator 288, which, look, it's a great fight card that Bellator is putting on Friday night. I think if you've listened to me anytime, you know I'm not someone that's just going to tell you something that I don't believe. I think this is a very good fight card that Bellator is putting on. Unfortunately, we did lose one matchup earlier on this week. Prelim matchup between Jalon Bates and Jornal Lugo. Was really looking forward to that matchup between two great bantamweight prospects that Bellator does have, but Bellator announced on Monday that fight was scratched from the fight card, but still a solid fight card. You know, looking at that preliminary card and the fighters to pay attention to when it comes to that preliminary card, they're all massive betting favorites, those being Lucas Bryn, Sullivan Cauley, Jordan Newman, and Archie Colgan. And I was playing over at bestfightodds.com, and and they got a little parlay builder over there, and if you parlay those four fighters together, you still can't get plus money. It would be minus 145 if you put those fighters together. Of course, they're all massive betting favorites in that one. Of course, Lucas Bryn is a guy I've really been paying attention to now for a while. Definitely a guy to pay attention to there. Sullivan Cauley, light heavyweight prospect. He's a training partner of Ryan Bader. Definitely someone to pay attention to there on the preliminary card. So those will be the matchups that I will be most notably looking at in terms of that preliminary card. But when you talk about the main card, great main card that Bellator has coming up here on Friday. And, to me, when we talk about this weekend in MMA, the top two fights for me, now for someone else, maybe your thought process is different, but to me, the top two fights of this weekend are the Bellator main event and co-main event. Personally, for me, the number one fight of the weekend is the main event. You got Nemkov defending the title against Corey Anderson. Of course, we saw how the first matchup happened and how it ultimately ended there for Corey Anderson. And I think for a lot of people, they view Corey Anderson as the uncrowned Bellator light heavyweight champion heading into this finale of the Bellator light heavyweight Grand Prix. And look, after what you saw in the first matchup, it's hard to not think that we're going to see a repeat of what happened. And for Corey Anderson, if he can go out there and get a win on Friday night, I think he has a legitimate case to say that potentially maybe he is the best light heavyweight in the world, but I'm sure a lot of people would maybe say that is Yuri here. But, when you think about how this fight could break down, if you're Vadim Nemkov, it has got to be about keeping this matchup on the feet. He cannot allow Corey Anderson to make this a wrestling matchup and use that brutal ground and pound that he does have. If Corey Anderson is able to get this fight to the ground, I don't think this fight is going to hit the championship rounds. I think Corey Anderson will be able to get Vadim Nemkov out in the first 3 rounds. Now, and this is a big if Vadim Nemkov can keep this fight on the feet, it could be interesting, but to me, the pick is Corey Anderson. And look, he is a big betting favorite in this one. I was even looking at some of the prop bets there in terms of, Corey Anderson inside the distance. You really can't get any value on Corey Anderson. I want to say it's minus 110. I saw on Corey Anderson to win inside the distance. Yeah, minus 110 inside the distance. If you wanted to get Corey Anderson via TKO KO, you can't get that at plus 150. But this is a fight that, to me, this is Corey Anderson's fight to lose in this one, that I do like him in this matchup. Now, the co-main event will be the lightweight title matchup as Patricky Pitbull defends the title for the first time, as he is going to be challenged by Usman Nurmagomedov. Look, Usman Nurmagomedov, a highly talented fighter, but the one thing about Usman heading into this matchup for me is, the resume doesn't, for me at least, doesn't say that he deserves a title matchup, but he's getting a title matchup. So it is what it is. He's getting the title matchup here, and he is a massive, massive betting favorite in this one. A minus 645 betting favorite as I record this show here on a late Thursday evening. Patricky Pitbull on the other side, he is a plus 480 betting underdog. So, I mean, look, if you like Patricky Pitbull to win this fight, just take the money line. I mean, you could, if you want to chase some of the bigger numbers there, you can get Patricky Pitbull wins by a TKO KO plus 800. Look, I think that is a very reasonable. There's a reason why Usman Nurmagomedov is the betting favorite in this one. My big question mark is he just hasn't faced the type of competition that Patricky Pitbull has faced. And, this is one of those things that I do wonder if the Nurmagomedov camp, their thought process may be is, hey, let's not necessarily totally engage ourselves in a kickboxing matchup, because that's what I think Patricky Pitbull is going to want to do. One of my thought processes, how I see this fight going, if Patricky Pitbull wins this fight, is he has to push the pace. He has got to be the one that leads the dance. He cannot be the guy that plays on the outside. If he plays on the outside, to me, this is Usman Nurmagomedov's fight to lose. My pick is Usman Nurmagomedov in this one. And to me, I think, obviously I don't want to go anywhere near the betting lines of, a 6.5 to 1 betting favorite over there. Nurmagomedov wins by submission plus 100. Not great there, but you can get plus 300 to win via TKO KO. Maybe if you want to play a little safe there, maybe you go to Nurmagomedov wins inside a distance minus 250 over there. But I do expect Nurmagomedov to get there. But to me, if Pitbull is going to pull this thing off, it's about him pushing the pace and forcing Usman to be on the back pedal. But I think this is going to be Usman Nurmagomedov's fight to lose. When you look at the rest of this card, what sticks out to me, Roman Feraldo, a welterweight who is just dynamic. He is a guy that sticks out to me, someone that does intrigue me in his matchup. Tyrell Fortune in a heavyweight matchup. Of course, I've been a long-time guy there in Bellator. Those are the ones that stick out to me. But look, I think, and also you got Daniel Weichels on this card, long-time Bellator fighter, taking on an undefeated prospect in this one, and Timur, I believe, as I pull up the betting odds here, is a 3-1 betting favorite in this one. But to me, Bellator 288 is all about the main event and co-main event. Now, I will tell you, if you're in a state that maybe betting is not legal and Prize Picks is, be on the lookout on Prize Picks. I just looked before I started recording this. Prize Picks has not put any props out for this one, but as I always say, if Prize Picks put some fight time props out, and particularly put some props out on the preliminary card, be looking to go after those unders, because typically that's the way Bellator prelims tend to go. You tend to get out there, but just kind of go over my picks in the main event, co-main event. I like Corey Anderson to become the Bellator light heavyweight champion. Then the debate's going to come. Is he the best light heavyweight in the world? I'm sure Scott Coker will come out and make that case. And I like Usman Nurmagomedov to go out there and win the Bellator lightweight title. It'll be very interesting to kind of see what happens with that, but definitely appreciate you checking out this video here on the Fight HQ YouTube channel. Of course, you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and of course hit that notification bell so you know when a show is live here on the channel. Myself and Pete, we're going to be bringing you content each and every fight week. Of course, this week we are going to have you covered for UFC Vegas 65 on Friday. We will have a live show. The live show is going to be at either 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, East Coast time. Be following myself and Pete on Twitter at Jason_Floyd, or Pete is at Pete the Heat MMA. That show will probably go anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes. We're going to break down each fight of UFC Vegas 65. We're going to tell you about how we see the fights going down. We'll break it down from a DFS perspective. We'll break it down also from a betting perspective. We'll break it down from a Prize Picks perspective for the props that Prize Picks has over there at prizepicks.com. Of course, you hear us talk about Prize Picks all the time. Then, of course, on Saturday, you can check us out over at Stokastic.com and their YouTube channel as 1 hour before UFC Vegas 65 at noon Eastern time. We'll be live for 1 hour to answer any questions that you do have. Of course, as always, myself and Pete, we appreciate your support of what we do in terms of our MMA content. So be on the lookout here for Fight HQ. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. Comment below. Let me know what your thoughts about Bellator 288 are. Do you agree with my predictions, or maybe do you not agree with my predictions? Let me know, and I appreciate you checking out this episode right here on Fight HQ of Bellator 288 preview.